wish copyright laws didn't exist because I'd have Simple Plans Untitled playing in the background now. Hello and welcome to Gooner Gathering. My name is Posh Bertie, the poshest man in sports entertainment. Joining me is the brilliant Fabio Vieira cosplayer, Sam Wilson. Oh, he's over there. How are you?
I'm not sure, really. Not fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Probably shouldn't have said, how are you, with a happy face there. That's probably not the best way to go. And down here is the lovely Fran, a.k.a. Steely Sketches, a.k.a. Goal Art. So how are you, Fran? Are you as miserable as me and Sam are?
Jez! Is that the Jez? Well, I'm miserable, but I've got a face that just constantly looks quite overwhelmingly happy. But I've made a lot of notes and I'm not happy at all. And for reasons we'll go into. Back to smiling.
I made no notes at all. I just cried. No, no, I'm okay. I'm used to it. As an Arsenal fan, it's the hope that kills you. So if you don't know, you could probably tell by our reactions here. Arsenal lost to Man City 3-1. I did an Instagram story saying we had a good first half, but a pathetic second half. Would you agree on that?
Yes. But my front, as Lee says, will not actually be about today's game. What an honour. Jez is back. There are so many people live streaming right now.
Good to have you back. Yes.
Yeah.
We're growing as a channel. Anyway, go on.
Okay. My rant will actually be about the hierarchy and January transfer window rather than today's performance specifically. But yeah, back at you, Sam. I think it was about the dire second half performance.
It's just frustrating, isn't it, when you lose and it's your own mistakes. Yeah, I think we were okay in the first half. I don't think we were fantastic. But yeah, I think it all boils down to, I think we were boss second half. We were completely played off the park, really. I don't think we had much of a chance at all, really.
It was very strange, that for me, because we went into halftime, I think, on a bit of a high, having equalised. I believe we went in 1-1, right?
Yeah. That was at halftime.
Yeah, and then obviously halftime happens, and I think we just started making all these careless mistakes. Everyone across the board, especially in possession. Lots of the time, just just slow balls, making blind passes. I'm sure we'll go into more specifics in a bit. But once one person starts making these mistakes, and then we concede that really silly goal from it. Yeah. But I don't know, Bertie, what's the plan? Are you going to go through it chronologically?
Yeah, I guess so. We could chronologically critique it, to quote OSW Review. But we'll start off with the very disappointing team news earlier on in the day that Thomas Partey was not going to be in the game due to a minor injury, and he was out as a precaution. Now, I'll be honest with you, when I first heard that news, I may have done an instant knee-jerk reaction and say, oh, there you go, it's over, we're done. And because I was saying, look, Jorginho and Partey are different players. They play differently. I don't think he's a Partey replacement. I wanted him to do well. I wanted to bowl jobs. A lot of them, says Craig. We'll get to that. But yeah, I was on Fran's channel actually earlier on today. Cheap plug, youtube.com/goalartso. And I talked about the fact that Partey wasn't playing. Sam, what did you make of how were you feeling when you found out that Thomas Partey was going to be unavailable?
I actually thought exactly the same as you. I thought, well, shall I had one thought actually crossed my mind, shall I even bother watching it?
because, and then I thought, no, that is kind of a little bit of an overreaction. But yeah, it's just any game that it could happen in, and it had to be this one, didn't it?
And Jez Collins there just reminded me that I need to get the team lineups out. There you go. This is the first time in a long while, probably ever, we had to tamper with the team sheets on StreamYard here. So Ramsdale in goal, Tomiyasu at right back. We'll get to him in a minute. Gabriel and Saliba at centre backs. Zinchenko at left back. Xhaka and Jorginho making his first full start in the midfield. Odegaard as well in there. Saka, Martinelli, and still Nketiah up front, which was surprising to me because I said I would have either gone for Martinelli, Saka, Trossard up front, or Trossard, Saka, and Martinelli up front. Your thoughts on the lineup going into the game, Sam?
It kind of picks itself, doesn't it? Apart from it was a bit. It was a bit bizarre, but I suppose why he's done it is Ben White didn't have a good game, so he thought, I'll change it. But I think...
Ben White's been a bit out of form, hasn't he?
Yeah, but I think when you're winning, but yes, we haven't won in the last few, but when you get a consistent team that's playing well together, there's not really any need to change it. So I think it was a bit wrong of him changing it, to be fair.
Yeah, I guess so. So we'll get into the game now. Enough dithering and delaying. We might as well get into the game now.
Thoughts on the lineup, Posh?
Oh, it's because I was too busy. It's because we were talking on your channel. I am so sorry, Fran. Your thoughts on the lineup going into the game?
Yeah, on my channel, the lineup's haven't come out yet, so I need to hear your thoughts as well. So I was surprised to see Tomiyasu come in for Ben White. Because in my opinion, like Tommy hasn't had huge amounts of game time. So to start him, I think like he could have had more full games. If we're trying to keep them both at the same level, give them equal game time, in my opinion. But I'm not a manager. So yes, odd to see Tomiyasu starting in such a crucial game, and he did make a few mistakes, but I guess we'll go into that. You have to be a legend to support the Yeah, I don't blame the players though. I blame the Cronkies. The Cronkies are the problem, but we'll get into that. First of all, Jez and everyone in the chat will do a little thoughts on our lineup and then the match, how it went, and then maybe go into what we think kind of overall about Arsenal's progress.
I also think Tomiyasu, since he's come back from injury, has been really shaky every time he's come on, even in bit part. So he's really shaky, completely not the player that he was before.
And we saw that early, and we saw that in the game.
Yeah, and every time he's come on, he's sort of made a couple of mistakes or something that could have been quite costly every time he's come on.
He was about 8 yards out, and did he miss the goal or like kicked it? Do you remember? I think he skied it.
We skied it. We skied a shot very early in the game. I remember. I think it was Xhaka who did that. We
had quite a few quite good shots.
Nketiah missed a good chance early on in the game.
Why didn't I'm going out of order here? But why didn't Nketiah get subbed off for Martin Trossard sooner? Is that?
I know.
Is that just?
But it's funny because I'm a bit more lenient on Nketiah for some reason. Every time he misses a shot, I want to give him a hug. If it was Lacazette, I'd be furious. But
I don't know. I don't know. Like he's got this demeanor about him that's very like cool as a cucumber. Nketiah, like if he misses, like he's kind of like, it's all right. Like that's the demeanor that comes across on telly. I know we only see 1% of who the person is, but I don't know. I haven't like totally. Yeah, I'm not totally sold by him but to give him credit, he's done well in his own way.
So we'll talk about the first Man City goal now, I'm afraid to say. Now, I am not sure I should be gracing my presence here because I said two things before the game. I said that I wanted to see Tomiyasu start at right back and that Erling Haaland doesn't turn up in big games. He didn't turn up for most of the game, I'll be honest with you, but we'll get to his goal in a minute. So Tomiyasu, pretty much kind of near outside the box, gives the ball away to Kevin De Bruyne, and he was basically one-on-one. Long story short, De Bruyne scores via an error from Tomiyasu, 1-0 to Man City. Did that, Sam, we'll start with you. Did that deflate your mood, I take it?
It did a little, but it was coming, wasn't it? And my phone's now decided to turn itself on loud. So yeah, it was coming for sure. But then at that stage you went, well, there's still plenty of time to go and get back into it. So that was my thoughts. Looking back at it, I don't think Ramsdale had any need to be that far out, to be honest. Which, yeah, plays into that because, yeah, I don't think he should have been that far
out. We're getting everyone in the chat here. Gracie-May's in the chat saying she's so annoyed. I don't blame you. I don't blame you, Gracie. Very good to see you. Fran, did your mood deflate on the Tomiyasu mistake, the first goal?
Yeah, one sec. I was going to ask if Gracie and Jez are going to do a live stream because I'd love to watch that. Anyway, let us know. So after Tomiyasu's goal, no. I was disappointed, but it was a great finish from De Bruyne. Like, he's class, but the way that the atmosphere was in the stadium, you still had the belief, didn't you? I mean, the crowd started singing straight away, and we had that oomph about us where you kind of felt like we're definitely going to get a goal back. That's what I felt anyway. It was nervy though, but I really did feel that from the players. Their attitude was right. The crowd was there. It felt like we were gonna come back into it. And the first half, I'm going ahead of you. You go, Bertie.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we can see here, the mood is not good in the chat because everyone is annoyed of the defeat, and I don't blame them. But yeah, I just because it came out of nowhere really. I expected Tomiyasu. I think he did try and pass it to Ramsdale, but sadly De Bruyne got there first. He didn't really see him, I don't think. De Bruyne got there first and he slaughtered it in the back of the net. Quite a decent finish, to be fair. I'll give him credit for that. But it wasn't the start we hoped we had, considering we held our nerve quite well before then. But we did all right going into the as well in the first half. As Golotso says, "Don't be fooled by my resting smile face."
I can't help it. I'm just happy to be online talking about football, guide about the result, but I like doing this, so my face just...
The depressed happiness, I'd say. That's an oxymoron for you. The latter of that word I described Tomiyasu after that mistake. So let's be a bit more positive. Let's talk about that penalty. So
yes,
who was it who went down in the box? I can't remember to get the penalty. Was it Saka as well, or was it Eddie? I can't remember. Anyway,
Eddie.
Okay,
Eddie.
Thank you, Gunnar Lee Meads there, making the comment. Get well soon, by the way, Lee. He's not able to join us tonight.
Yes.
He's resting up. So get well soon from all of us here at Gunnar Gathering.
Yes, he's our founding father, and
yes.
This show is dedicated to him and done in his honour, as he is unwell and unable to join us. Everyone follow Gunnar Gathering.
In his honour. He is still alive. Can I just be clarified here?
A bit more.
Although I don't really feel alive after that result. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, the penalty. The media were getting a bit annoyed that we had a penalty. They were saying, "Oh, it shouldn't have been a penalty. It shouldn't have been a penalty." Yeah, all right then. I mean, was it? I mean, a lot of people were saying it shouldn't have counted. What did you think of it? Fran, I'll go with you.
Can you describe what happened again? Because no, seriously, I have terrible short-term memory loss. It sounds like I don't know what I'm talking about, but genuinely,
Well, considering I didn't know who went down in the box, you probably shouldn't have asked me that question. But apparently,
was it Edison? It was Edison, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wasn't it Edison coming out and clattering him midair?
Might have
I'm
been.
pretty sure. Oh my gosh.
The media was saying it's not a penalty. It's not a penalty. I think it was. He did a bit of a clattering there. Fran's just checking there. But Bukayo Saka was the one. I was watching it. I was on my knees on the near the TV saying, "Please, Saka, don't do what you did against Italy, please." And he ended up scoring a very nice penalty. Coolly slotted it into the bottom left-hand corner. I don't know if you saw it, but Edison was pointing. Well, I'll go this left, even though it's my right. He was pointing to the left, saying, "Score from there, Edison. Strike, Saka, strike your penalty there." And he did. He completely did him there, which was very.
I put.
Keeper was already on a booking, says Lee.
We know that keepers are a protected species, though, don't we? I mean,
yep.
But I know the performance was terrible. The result was awful. But I have nothing but praise for Saka. Maybe not for the whole game. Like he like it wasn't his best entire game, but for moments like that, after everything he went through at the Euros, obviously, in all the horrific online abuse he received, and the fact he's overcome that and able to step up in these massive moments. I was just willing for it to for him to be able to do it, and it was a fantastic penalty. Ice cold, so calm, so composed. He's just the strongest person. I just can't imagine. I mean, something like that had happened to me at the Euros. Let's pretend, or you. You could pretend.
Say, yeah.
Can you imagine taking a penalty in such a high pressure situation again? The mindset is just unreal for me. So
absolutely, he was ice cold. You could say he was stone cold, if you will, but I don't have any beer on me at the moment.
Such a long wait as well.
Sam, what did you make of the penalty? Did you think that, right, we're back in the game, we can do this?
Yeah, but just to completely go down a different tangent at all, I think they were quite lucky to have 11 on the pitch, let alone 9, because Silva could have easily been sent off as well.
Yeah. A lot of City players going in the book, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Mainly for time wasting. We saw a player get a yellow card for wasting time, so it's good to see the ref doing his job there.
Yeah, I think it was 4 fouls on Saka that easily each could have had a yellow card. So he was very fortunate to still be on the pitch for one. I did think we got back into it. I think the energy lifted, and I think if we was to get something out of the game, I think we needed to score again in that first half while we were on top a little bit.
Sorry, you could argue that. I mean, my thought was that, like, we're going into halftime like pretty happy and we'd be on top coming out in the second half, but then you're right, City are going to come back and try and score early in the second half, so it would have been ideal to pop another one in. We had lots more chances in the first half than the second, definitely. Lottie, I forgot.
Oh my God,
that's my twin.
It's the sisters doing it for themselves. Lottie is in the chat.
I forgot. I gotta go. I need to send the link to my mum and dad because they wanted to tune in. Yes, Gracie-May. That would be amazing.
Me? Okay. If yeah. I can do that. It depends what time. Yeah, absolutely. Just slide into my DMs on Twitter. Just that time.
Oh God.
Said like a massive creep.
Oh, no. That's getting clipped, isn't it? Right, so moving on now. Saka scored the penalty, fantastic. We're back in the game, and we went into half time 1-1. And I thought to myself, this could be a chance to get back in the game and hopefully win. What do you guys think going into half time? Sam?
Going into half time, I thought that the momentum was behind us a little bit and that we'd come out a little bit more fighting than we did. Yeah, I was feeling really confident going into the second half, and then that was soon kind of diminished.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like one Gracie-May is going to be appearing in the chat, in the stream anytime soon. But
also because it's now in the comments, anyone could join, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll.
Yeah, you've got backstage control. So if as I always say, if a notorious wrong-un tries to come on, then you don't have to let them on. Not that there are any that I know of, but you know, if there's a,
No.
I'll
not in the chat at the moment anyway. And Lee is also here to control anything in case anything goes wrong.
I had a couple of notes I wanted to go over from the first half, if that's all right. So we had quite a few missed good opportunities. They weren't clear-cut chances in the first half. So about 28 minutes in, Saka gets the ball kind of on the outside, or down the right wing, obviously, and just around the sort of edge of the penalty box. And he had time and he controlled it. And I don't know if you guys remember, but he had a great first touch and then took like 2 or 3 seconds. Like he just like stood still, and there was no one in front of him. It was an open goal, and then a defender ended up coming and sliding in front of him, and he ended up just kicking it into the defender. That was really, really frustrating for me. Do you guys remember that? But that happened. My boyfriend and I were saying like his first touch was so good that he just didn't know what to do with himself for a second. We say he's good under pressure situations, but really you should be putting that away, or at least getting it on target a little bit sooner to judge him like the amazing player he is. You know, he'll be disappointed with himself for that. Also, Eddie has a header missed as well. He was pretty much unmarked. I can't remember whether it was from a cross or a corner. I think it was a cross or like it wasn't even on target. It was a couple of yards wide. Very disappointing. And then he missed another header that he could have chested down in the second half. Just very disappointing. The rest of my notes were quite positive for the first half. I noticed some things that were working quite well in the first half. So, for example, Zinchenko was coming up a bit higher than we're used to. So he was actually doing what we were all asking for Tierney to maybe come on and do, which was overlapping a bit more with Martinelli. Coming in and supporting him, offering him that short back pass. We will get on to Jorginho.
I don't mean to interrupt, but we have got a guest here. Gracie-May is in the building. I've already asked Sam and Fran what the mood is like. It's not very good. How are you feeling after that disappointing result, Gracie?
I think I've calmed down a bit. My fan cam was a bit of a rant, and now I've got 10 minutes worth of footage to get through, but it needed to be done. No, I was fuming, to say the least. The first half was excellent. I didn't really have many criticisms from the first half. I thought we played very well, and the second half, such a I said just
good
just
first
generally,
half, pathetic second half. That's what I said.
Yeah, just generally, what happened? Like, silly mistakes led to another loss, and it's the same silly mistakes that we saw last season against City at home in the New Year period. And why are these mistakes still happening? There's no excuse, and it's the same players making these same mistakes. How have you not learned through training and through games at this point already? how are you? Just what is going on? Some players really need to look at themselves, aka Eddie Nketiah, and say, well, why am I not doing my job properly? I'm not a fan of Eddie at all. I think it's an absolute joke that he even has the number he has. But that's a rant for another day. But he has a few good games, and everyone's like, oh well, he's the next Henry, and oh, he could do this and he can do that. You're joking. Are you actually
To
joking?
clarify, I genuinely never said he was the next Henry.
Good. I'm glad.
I
I'm
never
glad
did.
some people have some sense, but some top gooners seem to be coming out for the
But
likes of
I was a
me,
big
Lee
fan
Gunner.
of his form when he first started getting in the
No.
first team against United.
I'm not impressed.
Oh,
I'm generally well done to him on those games, but you need to show up for the 20 other games that you're playing as well as those 3.
I think he scores pretty like easy chances. I don't know if that's unfair to say, like that most strikers would be expected to score. He doesn't seem to like really put it out the bag when it matters. When there's a nice chance presented to him, like he does what's expected, but doesn't really push up like that extra mile.
Yeah, he doesn't push for the goal. He looks for the pass. He doesn't look for the goal. He always looks for the pass, and that's a quality that Jesus has above him. Now, I've had people say to me this season that, oh, Jesus doesn't walk back into the team. You must be joking if you think he doesn't walk back into the team after the audacity
Can I
of Eddie
say
Nketiah.
we have there are lots of run-ins. We got another guest here. It's Jez.
Oh my god! I'm gonna lose my mind.
You've got both of us
gathering
today.
Royal Rumble, if you will.
I'm muting myself, but I'm just gonna let you guys.
Jez, I'm sure you're pretty disappointed over that match.
A lot more than disappointed, mate. Shocking. Disgrace. Good evening to you all once again. Gracie, good to see you. Fran, Sam, Posh Bertie, yeah. Absolute shit show display. We capitulated again, and I predicted this. We ain't going to win the Premier League, people. We ain't going to win it. Fact.
Not like that, we're not.
We ain't got the depth of squad, and it proved it tonight. We've got an absolute useless striker in Eddie Nketiah. Zinchenko might as well have not been bothered to be on the pitch. Absolute rubbish. Yeah, I mean, when I go on Lee's in a little bit, play ratings, fan camera, all that all rubbish. It won't be long shows on Lee's tonight because I can tell you for a fact there's nothing to talk about. I put in my player ratings in your chat earlier. Shocking display. Zinchenko, I don't think I've ever rated a player at 0. He was absolute pony. An embarrassment.
Jez, I have to disagree slightly. I disagree slightly with the Zinchenko. Slightly.
He started well and ended up an absolute disaster. But you go, Grace.
I think the first half. Me and Jez don't disagree on a lot of things.
I'm just going to say I don't fight Gracie.
Not many people do. No, like realist. I'm not even saying it to just be difficult with Zinchenko, but I definitely don't think he was the worst on the pitch. I'm going to put that out and say there. I think others had a lot worse performance. In times, Zinchenko was the only glitter of hope we had. However, some of the passes Zinchenko made tonight were unacceptable and led to really crucial points in the game and crucial mistakes. I wouldn't rate him a 0, but he's pretty below 5, I would say. There was times that Zinchenko is the only fight that we had, and then he's letting balls go. But by far, I can't say that he was the worst player on the pitch today at all. I thought Gabriel was very poor. I thought Tomiyasu was very poor. Tomiyasu and Gabriel combined cost us the game, and Eddie Nketiah.
I also think it kind of shows on the 2 different sets of benches. We had one player that could make a difference on the bench, and they had a number. So
Yeah.
that still shows, I think, the seismic gap between the two.
Yep, totally agree.
Yeah.
Absolute fact. Absolute fact.
Yeah, definitely.
I will call you on this one, Gracie. Did you watch some of the passes from Zinchenko?
Oh yeah, they were awful. I know they were awful. I was watching him like a hawk, but I don't think he's a 0. I think like 0 is like own goal and penalty given like sort of rating. I would still give him like a 1 or a 2, like because he was shocking.
Did you not see the pass that created the second goal from NC?
Yeah. No, I saw it all. I did see it all. But then again, you have to blame Gabriel and Tomiyasu to the same level because that's exactly what they did.
But they didn't make the pass.
No, but their defending was shocking. Absolutely abysmal. Like, I could have defended better.
Is he not a goalkeeper? Sorry, is he not a defender?
He's
Yeah,
more of a midfielder, to be honest,
He's
recently.
he's a bit of everything at this point. No, don't like Jez. I agree with how poor he was, but my personal opinion on ratings, I would not give him a 0. If he's getting a 0, I'm rating Gabriel a 0, 100%. But I understand what you're saying. Like Zinchenko's a 1 or a 2 still, but if I'm giving Zinchenko a 0, I would have to also hold Gabriel to the same standard as well. And
Maybe
I would even give Nketiah a 1 or a 2 because he was absolutely shocking as well.
I'll tell you what. Then I'll give him a 1. And the pure fact I'll give him a 1 is he actually got his shirt on the right way round.
Oh,
As Craig said there, he gets the 1 for putting the kit on.
Shocking.
My notes in my head anyway have gone all over the place now, and we've got 2 guests, but that's okay. We'll go back to where we were. So City were appealing for a penalty early on in the second half, and it was ruled offside. VAR did its job for once. Sam, what do you think? Was City, was that a penalty or was that offside?
Absolutely not. Regardless of it not being offside, they were both challenging and battling for the same ball. They both have hold of each other's shirt. They were both pulling each other back. So how does that go one way?
100%.
As Gunali Mead's always been a fan of VAR. Always. Brilliant. Fran?
On the pen, just they remembered to draw the lines, rightly offside.
Bizarre.
We were lucky it was offside. Very glad that didn't happen because then the capitulation would have happened just 15 minutes sooner or quicker. So, just the course of the second half was just dreadful. We still had 15 minutes to play, and Zinni was doing. I think Zinni I think the pressure just got to him. He's playing his old club title race, and he just crumbled really. About 15-20 minutes to go, and he was doing. Did you guys see these snail pace passes? Just like a toddler, just going there you go, really not on that sort of pass. It was crazy. He should have been whipped right off after something like that, because doing a pass with that little care and deliberately just oh god, go. That's going to kill any spirit that the rest of the team might have. So I wasn't impressed with that. It was quite petulant from him, I thought. But I guess we can talk about substitutions in a bit.
So that happened. Thankfully, VAR actually did its job for once, and life after Lee, not so bad at all. Lee Mason, that is, not Lee Meadows. Lee Meadows is a great guy. Speaking of Lee Meadows, I felt the initial penalty decision shook the guys up, and they didn't get going again. The second half, like I said, first half we were okay. Second half we just fell to pieces, and it's so disappointing, really. Speaking of disappointing, we're going to get to the second goal. Haaland, I think, had a shot and that went away. And then, of all the players to score, Jack Grealish, who I have a bit of an agenda against for some reason. Maybe because he's like very good looking and all the girls love him or something. I don't know. He gets a goal. He gets the second goal, and Man City are 2-1 up. And this was the point where I thought, oh God, here we go. This is it. It kind of sucked the life out of us, didn't it? We'll go with our invaders first. Gracie, what was the? It kind of fell to pieces after that, didn't it?
Yeah, even just before that, I mean, I can't stand Jack Grealish. I can't stand him as much. I can't stand him and Haaland as much as I hate Newcastle. Now, if you watch me, you know how much I hate Newcastle, and this is the resentment I have. Even Tottenham, like,
hey, what's wrong with the Geordies, like
everything.
That was terrible.
Spurs and Newcastle. Jack Grealish and Haaland are my 4 hates in life, and of course both of them had to score tonight. We should have closed Jack Grealish down quicker. He was allowed too much space. I couldn't stand him tonight. There's some points in football that I can't stand when it's a 50-50 challenge. And this goes for our team as well. And we're too soft. Football players are too soft. Now, this is a 50-50 challenge. Like, we're talking about, challenges on all across the pitch. Grealish is constantly complaining and this. And then we allow him to go get a goal. And now these goals change the game. It changes it completely. And that was just the beginning of the downfall, really, and the fact that we allowed him to get a goal and the mistakes that led to that goal is ridiculous.
Jez, I'm pretty sure you'll be saying the same things. It was a terrible goal to concede, and yeah, not very good, was it?
Well, why Gracie-May, Gracie-May, she had, on my group chat, the Real Arsenal, she has a great debate with a Newcastle fan, and as I said last night, guys, don't fight with Gracie-May. She'll kill you every time.
Kill with facts.
We almost had a bit of a preview there with the whole Zinchenko thing, but let's move on from that.
The fact of the matter is, we've seen tonight, Arsenal are weak mentality and weak at times embodied. It's poor. It is poor. We
Small
don't
club
have
mentality, essentially.
Exactly. The mentality is not there. It hasn't been there for a long time. And I don't care what anybody says. Arteta is an arrogant, absolute arse. And he will do whatever he wants to do not for the betterment of the club. It's for what he wants. And again, we saw once again the same substitutions. Yeah, Trossard for Martinelli. How predictable is that? If I can see it and he does it, do you not think every professional football club manager can see it? Now we'll talk about the Arsenal penalty, shall we? It was a clear penalty because the goalkeeper bodied Nketiah. It's a clear penalty in my book. You can't do that. He stopped his forward progress if he had got the ball, because the ball was going to go in the net. It get cleared off the line. That's why he gave that penalty. The Man City claim was clearly offside, never going to be given. But the fact is, we are just so weak when it comes to these sort of games. And without that penalty, guys, for Arsenal, that would have been 4 games on the bounce without scoring a goal. Bit similar to last season, isn't it?
Makes you think, doesn't it?
Bit similar. So, is that a team that can win the Premier League? No. And the blame is purely on Edu and the backroom staff and Arteta. They haven't done the business. And I will give my sympathy to Arteta, because He has got Arsenal to now second in the league as it stands. And I actually do have sympathy for that man, because he's done something quite exceptional with a bloody awful weak squad. But everybody shouting and screaming at the Emirates, "Oh, we're going to win the league." Last season, what was it?
Not over yet. As much as I wanted, as much as I, said, "Oh yeah, we're winning the league," I had to say to myself, "Calm down. It's not over. Just one game at a time," as I kept saying. But
you can't say you're going to win the Premier League until you've won it.
It's the hope that kills you.
Fact. Classic season. Man City, Man United, whatever it was, 10 years ago, I can't remember. And Man City winning, da-da-da-da-da. Oh, accidentally, Man United won it. Sorry, round the other way. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's Man City, Man United. I don't know. I don't remember. It comes down to the last match of the day. We've been there. We've done it. For those you remember, Anfield 89. We had to win by 2 clear goals to win the Division 1. You can't stand there. And this is the absolutely annoys me with this fan base. Last season, oh, we're in the Champions League. No, we ended up 5th.
No.
We capitulated the last 3 games.
You do not understand how angry I was last season. Not so much the team's mentality stuck, right, but with not getting any January signings at all. And this year,
we wanted to get Vlahovic, but Edu was being Edu as usual, and just being
no
too
backup,
scared to pay
right?
the extra money.
And this year, the only signing that has really added anything so far is Trossard, right? Because Jorginho, I guess we'll talk about him, or Jez, Gracie, give your thoughts, but he's just kind of like, he's not as good as Partey, not as level up.
We missed him today.
He's slight, he's small, and we're used to having massive Partey giving us that presence and physicality at the back end. It seems like Kivior isn't even ready to start yet. So really, it's only Trossard starting at all, adding anything to the squad when we were so weak on strikers. And I'm really fed up. I've not been supporting anywhere near as long as you, Jez, even Gracie as well. But why the ownership doesn't want to push forwards and actually go for this opportunity this season is incredible. Like it's fallen into our lap, really, hasn't it? And to not raise the level in January and really take those chances. And last season as well, even though we were only going for top 4, which isn't anything, we could actually win it this time. And I hope maybe, as you say, this is just the beginning of the downfall, the bottling. Maybe they can prove us wrong, but yeah.
I hope so. I do like to keep the faith, even though at the moment it just seems like nothing. But look, so we'll get to the third and final goal now in the latter stages of the second half, where Erling Haaland of all players scored for Man City and made Bertie Haaland doesn't turn up in big games wonless feel like a right idiot. But hey, what can I say? I've always been there. It's not the first time I felt like an idiot on stream. Jez, you were going to say something there.
Sorry, mate. Sorry to interrupt you guys. I've got to go on with Lee. I've got to do player ratings. I'll try and jump back if you're still live before I then have to do. Sorry, no, I've got to do fan cam first. Then, if you're still around, I'll try and jump back on to join you guys. But if I can't, Gracie, I think you're going to set something up tomorrow if you can, if you get the chance. Get you guys on, have a chat. It's always good to get new people on, and I always do a podcast on a Wednesday night, 6:00. Next week, I've got Kenny, Ken, and Lee coming on. Grace is usually there, and we'll if you're interested, Gracie-May, who will get your details because she's far better than me. Without Gracie, I wouldn't even have this channel. I won't lie. Gracie set it up. Bless her. And so I always rely on Gracie-May. So Gracie, I'll leave it down to you tomorrow. And next Wednesday, Gracie will get in touch and get you on. And we'll have Lee and Kenny there. So that'll be a good intro for you guys with Lee. And he's fun, isn't he, Gracie? He's good fun, isn't he?
He is. It's brilliant. It's a really good show. Really good. We'd love to have you on as well.
Yeah, Kenny Ken, he's fabulous.
Jez, you missed it earlier, but Lee was I was in touch with Lee and he was so kind to me. Right, I know like his online persona's like divisive, but I was in touch with him about my artwork. I was going to send him a print of that behind me. He's a really lovely guy. So yeah,
he's a lovely look. A lot of people give Lee a hard time because of his outspoken views, which is fair enough. I'm outspoken. I get a lot of hate. Gracie, unfortunately, has, because of me and Lee, had a few nutters in her chat. Unfortunately, the bigger your channel gets, the more you're going to get. That's life. But Lee and Kenny, I tell you what, they are two absolute legends in the fact that if they can help you grow your channel, they will. Because I've been involved with Lee now 4 years, something like that, and the work he's done along with Gracie-May, bless her, Kenny, we've all supported each other and helped, and bless Lee Gunner. He came on Gracie's. I said to Gracie, we were going to do a show, weren't we, a podcast, and I said, let's do it on yours. I've got Lee coming on. Let's get you over the 1,000 subs. Lee came on. Bingo.
Yeah, great show. And I hosted the quiz on his channel, so we're definitely, especially me now. I'm looking to it's nice to speak to you guys, and I said to you earlier, it's nice to meet you guys, so we can then help you, etc.
Yeah, I've watched you since your first appearance, Gracie.
No way. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I could talk about this for ages, and I think it's so unfair, like the treatment you guys get. But we'll talk about that another time. Jez, I really look forward to your fan cams. I watch them after every match. They're brilliant. So
yeah,
I don't want to keep you.
So, some of them get a bit lively. It might be a bit lively tonight. Be fair,
I can imagine.
I'd expect nothing less.
Anyway. Guys, keep up your content. Keep it going. Gracie-May.
Good to have you here.
Absolute. Gracie's a legend. Lovely young lady. And love her to bits. And I'll tell you what, this young lady will help you big time. And I will as well. And she'll sort it out for tomorrow. And take care. If I can come back, I will. But I can't promise. All right? So, take care.
We'll see.
Guys, good to see you.
Thank you.
Wasn't that lovely? So as I was saying, I said, Erling Haaland doesn't start during big games, and he goes and scores. I mean, he didn't have a brilliant game, but he did score in the very last few minutes, and it just fell apart, really, didn't it? And it's a shame.
It was inevitable. Sorry, Percy. Carry on. You carry on, and then I'll talk about that Haaland goal. Or are you?
No, okay, but it was inevitable because I said, Erling Haaland doesn't turn up in big games, and I did say. I said that he'll probably get 7 goals. He didn't get 7 goals, thank God for that. But he did inevitably score in the last few minutes. Fran, you can. What was it you were saying there?
So I remember that when you were like, he never turns up in big games. We all went like, you realise he will now turn up, and I'm blaming you.
Well, he didn't really. I mean, yes, he scored, but he had a bit. Apart from that, he was a bit quiet.
It wasn't great. I thought Saliba did well in the physical battle with him. I thought really seemed to kind of be as strong as him, and we know Saliba's a big guy, so that was good. Finally, see someone kind of a little bit similar to him. But that Haaland goal, right? The place that the team was in at that point, you see them on the attack, and you see the energy that City team had, all of them together, us lot. I knew about the halfway line that they were going to score. Do you know what I mean? It was that inevitable, the way our heads were down. They were just like, they were like a dog after a bone, you know.
We looked lost, didn't we? Especially after City's second.
What is this, though? What is this? Okay, so a lot of my analysis comes from me playing like quite high-level competitive hockey. I know it's niche, but like we were blooming competitive, right? 3 goals down, 4 goals down. We're still trying to go for the comeback till the 90th minute. And sometimes we would equalise. We've all seen these 92nd minute equalisers, haven't we? And I don't know why.
World Cup, especially.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not. Why were our heads down? 15 minutes to go.
Just gave
if
up.
We could, like. There's no one G'ing up the team when things go bad. So Odegaard is good. When things are all right, I think, you know, when it's a little mistake, but when it really hits the fan, who's there, like, actually getting angry with the team, like, get a grip, like, it's all very nicey. We need sort of a real...
Arteta would sometimes do that in the dugout, but Richard Keys gets mad at him. So...
Oh, did you see him kick that little ball away?
I saw De Bruyne shove him. I saw that.
I was just about to say that was my favourite moment of the match.
Yeah, that was funny.
It was just a little, like, it literally, all you saw when you first saw it was De Bruyne just push him, but he literally just, like, took the ball and played it away from him. It was so good.
It was funny.
And the fans chanted, "We got Super Mick Arteta" afterwards.
The fans were great.
Very good atmosphere, I heard. And we knew someone who was at the game, didn't we, on your channel, Fran?
Oh yeah, Ryan. He's probably still in the chaos on the way back. Yeah. But I know quite a few. Albert, JTV was there, and my mate Alex was there. I'm sure we all know people that actually went. And what a fantastic job! Their voices must be gone. But I think when the teams, it's really chicken egg, isn't it? When the team's head drop, the fans can't.
Yeah.
Like you're just that one person in the crowd going, "Come on, Arsenal," and no one joins in with you. The crowd is.
It was like that a few years ago sometimes, but I think now, I know obviously in hindsight it's not been a good few results, but the position we're in now, the fans have got a bit more behind the boys. I think, haven't they?
Oh, it's going to be big to see how the crowd is next game. We're in for a week of hell, Arsenal, in the media, you know. The players better stay off socials. All these pundits that have been waiting to jump on are going to say, "Oh, Arsenal are bottling it again." I see you nodding, Gracie-May.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, we always... we're always behind the boys, no matter our opinions off the pitch of the manager. Always on game day, always support them all. Atmospheres, was incredible today. Of course, my cousin and family were at the game. Yeah, season tickets and stuff. So always there every game. So that's why I tag along. But no, honestly, just the fan base. Sometimes the club doesn't deserve us. I think and the energy we put out is incredible. Even when we're behind, or even when a player makes a bad mistake, we get behind them, start singing their name, and always and sometimes it's not enough. You can't just rely on the fans. You have to rely on the quality on the pitch as well, and it's something that we didn't lack today, but we did lack that the grit and determination to sort of get on with it. But I'm really sorry, I do have to go myself now. I've got to be up quite early, so I need to go edit my video, post that, and then get off to bed. But I will give you... I've suddenly gone big screen. Hello, everyone.
Yes, you're close up now. You can give us your socials.
No, I'm not. You know who I am, people. Gracie-May. But first of all, subscribe here first. I'm sure there's great content coming out. But I will give you. I will reach out to all of you and sort out something for tomorrow, and give you details, etc. So I'll sort that out.
I'll see if I can be there.
Yeah, definitely. And let me know what time's good for you as well. We're flexible.
Yeah, one thing: Top Gooners wouldn't invite a tiny channel like us on.
No, always. We love to support. So we are
Real
the real
fans invite
we are
like
the
us
real
here.
fans. Yeah, we are the real fans. We are the normal fans, and not Top Gooners. As much as people would like to say, but no, it'd be great to have you on with Lee and Kenny next week as well. So we'll do some organising behind the scenes. It's not as scary as it thinks. You just relax. Just relax.
I have a feeling if I'm with Liga, I'm just be like, hi, I love you.
Don't get me wrong. It was, I mean, like the first time I went on a podcast and I hosted a podcast with him. It was it's daunting, but we're all normal people. As you've probably seen today, we're all quite normal and love to just talk football. Really, we're just fans at the end of the day. But thanks for having me on again, twice in one day. I'm very lucky. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll give you a message.
Very nice to see you.
Yeah. Sleep
nice
well.
to see you guys. See you later. Bye.
Bye. Did I just say sleep?
What a weird little invasion we had there.
That was weird. That was awesome. Those guys really took it like
weird, but wonderful. It was wonderful. There we go. And it's great to see though both Gracie-May and Jez with us again. And yeah, that was Gracie-May's Lunar Gathering debut. And yeah. So we've pretty much talked about all the moments in the game, the goals, the penalty. Actually, let's go back. Lee said thoughts on J2O. It's a great brand of water, Lee. J2O is quite good. He meant Jorginho. Jorginho, I think he's on about. Now it's interesting because Jorginho was the highest rated player I saw in Jez's lineup there, I think.
He'll do his player ratings on Lee Gunner's channel, so we can work that out.
Look, he gave Jorginho a 7. Sam, what were your thoughts on Jorginho's full debut?
I thought he played really well. I thought that some of the balls that he was playing were amazing. Some of the little passes that he was making and the balls that he was playing, were really up. So I was really happy with him, to be fair. I think it did kind of show, though, because he looked kind of short at the back. It did kind of show that he isn't the same player at all as Partey.
Yeah. Craig says, according to multiple sources, Edu's job is under threat. Well, it depends. I think if it's like the likes of David Ornstein or Charles Watts saying it, then it would be a bit more believable. But we'll see what happens there. Fran, what did you think of Jorginho?
That's interesting. I'm going back to that from Craig. I thought he was. Maybe everyone's perception is different, isn't it? We're focusing on different people in the match. He didn't really catch my eye. He was quite distinctly average, in my opinion. He did a few good balls. He gave it away a few times. He didn't stand out for me. I mean, he filled in well enough and not much.
Yeah.
I
didn't think he wasn't a disaster. That's the main thing. He was all right.
Yes, the best praise I can give him is he wasn't a disaster, and they didn't just rip it apart through the middle for most of the match. They did go round the flanks, so he must have provided some sort of deterrent.
And for someone like Jez, who I've realised is not the most positive Arsenal fan out there, still love you, Jez. You're a good man. Gave him a 7, so he's doing something right.
Exactly. I don't know why there's this brand of unless you're a positive Arsenal fan, then you're not welcome in the fan base because you're not supporting our players. But it's just everyone's got different opinions about different things. The players don't listen to you chatting to your mates. And anyway, we'll talk about that another time. I just think every fan's entitled to their own opinion, like everyone is about everything. That's my take on it. But sorry, Jorginho, you were saying.
Jorginho, yeah.
Jorginho, no.
Oh my word!
Sam, what?
I
Sam,
deserve
you
the awkward silence.
Good. I'll see myself out. I mean, he's not as good as Partey.
Yeah.
And it's inevitable, right? Knowing Partey's injury history, that Partey's going to go out injured. Like, he never plays more than, like, I think this has been the longest spell that we've had him without an injury. Like, it was bound to happen at some point. You're not going to get someone that's at least as good as him, if not better, if we're going to try and push on and win the league, or do Edu and the board not care? I'm just such a competitive person. I don't know how they can sit back and say, like, oh, I mean, Jorginho's good
It just shows we should have got Casiedo in January, but Edu being Edu, he's for some reason he's too scared to get his checkbook out sometimes.
Well, no, it was more that they said they didn't want to ruin the relationship with Brighton. I understand that. I don't like upsetting people either, but I like winning more. And plus,
football's
Kroenke,
a ruthless game these days. Sometimes,
and,
I'm afraid.
Stan Kroenke has twice the estimated worth and money as. Yeah, right. You guys are. I really don't get it. It's like I think we'll talk about that another time. Like, you guys are like, you often use. We'll talk about that. What am I going on about? Yes, Stan Kroenke is twice as rich as Todd Bowley, right? So why are we not going all out, maybe upsetting Brighton, or going to get a great midfielder, or especially Caicedo? Go and poach someone like Casemiro, like United did. Casemiro would have been amazing for us.
Yeah.
So for me, it is all about the transfers, because I think Arteta's doing a tremendous job with what he's got, and he keeps being constantly down.
I will say, I obviously last season and the season before, I was very critical of Arteta, but in hindsight, I think the main problem is with Edu rather than Arteta, because I believe Arteta wants to sign players like Casiedo and even Declan Rice as well. But the problem is Edu's a bit, he just doesn't pay enough money. So I do feel a bit bad for Arteta in a way.
Yeah. Oh, there goes my twin sister. I bet you think you're
stay
now
away from Casemiro. He's yours. He's all yours. As is Anthony and his little tricks.
You're now in the title race. Well done. Yeah, Man U supporting fan. The cheek of it. Yeah. Oh, Anthony. Yeah, I saw. Was it Anthony or Martinez? We were linked to one of the Martinezes. Was it the Manchester United Martinez?
I think it was the Inter Milan Martinez, Lautaro Martinez, I think, last season, also with Vlahovic. But
I always find it a bit bizarre that we've got transfer rumours circulating at this time of year. I mean, let's finish the season first. I mean, it's just well, anyway, go on.
I wish you'd stop mentioning Casemiro.
Yes,
this is not Red Devil gathering. I can't think of a word like gathering beginning with R or D at the top of my mind. Anyway. Yes.
Rendezvous.
Red Devil Rendezvous. Lottie, that's, if you want to go into YouTube, that's your channel right there.
Red Devil Rendezvous, please.
Oh my word. There you go. Look, I think we've talked about, what we needed to cover. I want to go to bed. Is there anything else that you want to discuss regarding the game, Sam, Fran?
Yes, no. I can always talk more. I think you may have learnt this about me, but I literally never stop talking. But I'll put a zip in it now, and let's all go and nurse our wounds, listen to what other people are saying. I think we did well, considering what a disappointing result that was. The stream wasn't a shambles. We had 2 good guests, lovely chat. Wishing Lottie well. You guys all came. Red Devil Rendezvous coming right up. Hey, we could collaborate, Lottie. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. So yeah, I think good stream, guys. Thank you very much for everyone in the chat who comes to listen to us when they
just in hope that we bounce back Saturday as well.
Fingers crossed. Let's.
I think we will. But
I
it'll be
don't
too
want
late.
Unai Emery to get another result against us. That would just that would be even more downhill. We want a good Ebening, not a
We'll
bad
do a proper
Ebening.
preview for that, won't we? I imagine.
Yes.
That's
Yeah, as I said, brilliant stream. Good to have all these guests and getting different opinions and views in there. I was a bit down over the thing about Zinchenko, which is a shame because Zinchenko started very well at the start of the season, but he's not finding his form. Anyway, you were saying something, Fran.
He was good in the first half. What was I going to say? I wanted to say, well done, Posh Bertie. Great job hosting. You're very good at stopping and listening, especially for someone like me. You can just like go on for hours. So thank you for.
It's okay. I've got friends that phone me a lot who support football teams, and they go on for hours. I would get them on the channel, but we'd be here forever, and I know. But yeah,
well, next time you should get them on if we do a 24-hour like charity stream once the channel grows a bit. Get them on.
We'll see about that. The thought of doing 24 hours at the moment is just making me feel tired. Let's bring out our socials. Sam, where can they follow you?
Next to my name, Sam Wilson AFC with
got it here
in the space of that's funky.
There we go. Fran?
It's been a pleasure to finally get on stream with you, Sam. When you say stuff, I think it has weight, and then you'll just pause afterwards and let us absorb your wisdom, and I rate it. Whereas I talk at 100 miles an hour. So yes, my name is Fran. My main Twitter is @SeeneySketches because my surname is Seeney. Oh, Lottie learnt a lot. That's my twin sister. She's Lottie Seeney. I'm Francine. Francesca. There I go again. So I create art like this painting behind me, which is a massive Legends one. It doesn't look as big as it actually is. And I draw the players and then turn those drawings, like this one I'm wearing, into recycled, sustainable streetwear. You've got to plug sometimes. So that business is called Goal Art, which is the name of my YouTube channel. And I'm on Instagram and Twitter with that new business. So please go and support it and check it out if you can. Give those new socials a follow. Bertie, what about you?
Yes, you can follow me on Twitter @PoshBertie and Instagram @BertieOneless. And that is pretty much it. Together, we are @Gooner Gathering. Follow us on Twitter @Gooner and give us a subscribe. And yeah, I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed and probably just after that result. But, until next time, guys, have a good night.
Peace.